I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
All right, yes.
Woohoo!
This is the dance portion right here.
That's right.
Where we just like awkwardly dance to the music.
Is this the Sunrise Bay music?
This is the yeah, I mean, you know what? Might as well be. What is up, guys? Welcome to the Schitt's Creek after show. We just got done watching episode 10. And we've got to unpack the episode because there's a lot to talk about. But first, I want to introduce my host. Over here to my left is Loren Kling. And if he's not talking about Schitt's Creek on here, he's talking about it on his Instagram. Give it up for Loren.
Hi, everybody. In Instagram land, you are following me, aren't you?
And we also have, she comes from a small town, just like Schitt's Creek, Megan Gallagher.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to talk about this episode.
Yes. And I am a lover of all things sitcom television. My name is Rachel Swindler, and I'm so happy to be here with you guys. So a lot to talk about. And also, I'm going to tease you a little bit. We have a really big announcement. We have somebody coming on the show, but we're not going to tell you who that is yet. But you better stay tuned because this is going to be absolutely epic. You're going to want to know who this is. That's going to be our news and gossip. We also have our senior superlative section for our special segment that Megan's going to unpack for us. So stay tuned. There's a lot to get into. But I want to go ahead and get into the overall thoughts of this episode. Loren, what'd you think?
Just like last week, this is just one of those fun little episodes. Not a lot at stake. Just learning more things about the people. I enjoy these, although I know there are some people online who don't really love these episodes because they're not really throwing the story that much further. Mm-hmm. I disagree. I think they're fun and easy to watch.
Gotcha.
I liked it.
I agree. I love this episode. I think that there were so many different things going on, and it's fun to follow each person, Moira and Johnny and David and Alexis, all their lives, and they're all in different places in their lives. Mm-hmm. And it's fun to see them interact, but also I love how even Moira, I love how she is just still following her dreams. And I love just her attitude and her spirit. There's a lot going on though with like Alexis and David and the wedding and the motel and then a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you guys. Definitely, it was a little slow for me. I'm going to be honest with you. But I love Schitt's Creek, and I love these little fun, just everything with the Sunrise Bay reboot. There's always these funny, hilarious moments like we have that we'll get into when they first were in the cafe and Alexis extension pops off, which that's happened to me before. I really did, it was a little bit slow, but I understand that we've got these filler episodes that we need to build and see what's going to happen for this big finale that we're going to have in about 4 weeks, crazy enough. So let's get right into the first part of the episode. We've got the motel, and we've also got David's wedding. We've got some food. We've got a big dilemma with the food this episode. So we start out with everybody in the opening scene. Everybody's in the cafe. Alexis is completely disheveled. We didn't see much of Alexis this episode. She is just going through it, don't you think?
I feel so bad. My heart goes out to that girl. I know exactly when I saw her pulling up in cafe and just those sweats, I felt so bad because I know exactly what that feeling is, and it's so awful. And I felt so bad for her, but girl, do your thing. Good for her for going through the process of feeling all the feels and grieving, and I hope she's going to be okay.
Yeah. And you know what was great? What I kind of noticed about last week's episode and this week's episode is the tenderness. It's really filling, the show's really filling with a lot of tenderness from Alexis, who found kind of her groove by watching the show, by Johnny kind of feeling tender moments with Stevie, and even Moira really supporting her daughter. And I saw that last week with Johnny and Alexis. So I love the feels in this episode.
Yeah, a lot of family feels in this episode. A little bit of a curveball, though, at the beginning when we saw with the staff. We've got the whole staff for the new Rosebud Motel, and termites have entered the foundation, and it's about to collapse. And they said this right in front of the staff. I'm sitting there going, Jesus Christ, if I was the staff, I would be running in the opposite direction right now. They don't know what to do at this point, and this directly affects the fact that Johnny said he was going to pay for the food for David and Patrick's wedding. And this sounds like something that's a really big deal for Johnny.
Yes.
He really wants to be able to do this. He got very emotional talking to Stevie about they had this money saved for him. You know, we had money saved, you know, for the Bali trip.
Yes.
We had money put aside for the wedding. Clearly, they weren't able to keep that money that's put aside. So a very tender moment for Johnny in this episode.
Yeah, again, I really see him and Moira really becoming loving parents that we have not seen, and it's really wonderful. And again, it makes me anticipate this wedding that's going to happen, you know, and how great and beautiful it's going to be. I think the show's going to end on a great moment with Roland doing something stupid. I know I'm getting ahead of myself.
Predictions.
I did want to mention that our chat's open on our YouTube, and Din said he loves these characters, especially Johnny, this episode, and totally agree. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's just so sad when Johnny is saying, you know, they had this kind of fund saved for David's wedding, and they just thought, oh my gosh, we're gonna go to Bali and we're gonna have everyone on a private jet, and it's just gonna be so luxurious and fun and romantic. And I do think they're gonna be able to pull off something magical because it's just the Rose family, and I just feel like after all that they've been through, it's just what they do. They persevere. But I really hope that it's the wedding of David and Patrick's dreams. And I hope that they get to just, like, I really hope that especially David gets to feel happy and not stressed or, oh my gosh, you know, nothing is right, like that frantic, awful, like the bridezilla kind of thing. Like I hope they're just happy with however their wedding turns out.
Yeah, I definitely think it's all going to come together. And, you know, we saw after this happened, of course, we had the tasting and Johnny making comments going, oh, does this cost money? Does this? So we see this moment happen where Johnny calls a meeting with Stevie and with Roland and says, you know what, I think we need to just sell. We need to coop our losses or whatever he said and sell the second motel. And Stevie says, no, we will not. Stevie says, this franchise needs to go to a larger scale. You know, 20 to 30 locations. And he said, you've done this before. Stevie says, you've done this before. And I learned, basically saying, I learned this from you when I read your book. You know, she got it from his book. And it really seemed to light a fire under him, like, okay, let's do this. And this might be a little bit of a prediction, but I think that this is going to be where possibly he gets that money to pay for the for the wedding.
I agree. I think that's yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, but it's nice to see. It's nice to see Stevie really, really believe. I mean, she's always believed in this hotel. I mean, it's her baby, but she really believes in Johnny, and she really wants to make this something special and something very big. And so I think that it will be.
Yes.
Now, at first I was wondering, why is Johnny not remembering any of this? It almost seemed like the typical sitcom trope, and I was going to ask you, Rachel, if you've kind of seen the character who's forgotten everything that they've done before, which we've seen so many times, but I think maybe more so he just lost faith in himself.
I think so, too. I was going to say that exactly.
Yeah, and so that he's kind of taking Stevie on as another child, being able to and learn as much from her as she's learning from him.
Yeah.
It's sweet though too because Stevie is just kind of like being his personal cheerleader, like his personal hype man. She's like, come on, Johnny, remember this, when you wrote this book, how did you feel like way back, you were just on top of the world, like you can still feel that way. And I love how she's boosting his self-esteem.
But if we go back to when she wanted to leave the motel, and she was trying to be a flight attendant and she was trying to do all this stuff, and Johnny was being that for her.
Yes.
He was being her cheerleader.
Yes.
So their relationship is actually very special.
It is.
Very special.
Kindred souls.
They are. Anything else on the motel and the food and David's wedding?
No, I think we kind of covered that. And
But yeah, I just love how I want David's dreams to come true so badly. I really hope that their wedding ends with them slow dancing to You're Simply the Best, and it's just like this full circle, like twinkly lights, just like magical fairy tale.
Listen, if I know anything about the Roses, which I feel like I do, this is going to be an epic wedding.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And not that I'm covering predictions again, but what is David going to wear?
Probably that icon shirt or sweater that he wore the entire episode.
You were asking about that. You mentioned that beforehand, and I was like, what would he wear for the wedding?
Fierce, something fierce, Versace.
Right.
Ooh.
I don't know, something.
It's going to have a train, but it'll be like a black train of some sort.
train.
Yeah.
I think all black with like black flowers, like kilt, like cloak with a train with like a little
Patrick
faux fur,
would
maybe.
never go for that. Patrick doesn't want
No,
that.
I'm saying David.
I know, but Patrick doesn't want to be in this ridiculous wedding.
But I think Patrick loves David enough to want what's best for David.
Whatever
To
it
make him
is,
happy.
whatever it is, it's going to be epic. I already
Yes.
know. But
Yeah.
you know who else is epic? That's you guys watching us right now. If you're listening to us, if you're watching on YouTube, go and hit that thumbs up. Give us those 5 stars because that's what we need and that's what we love, and we love you for supporting us. Leave your comments below. Let us know what you think of the episode. I know AfterBuzz has done a lot for me and for you guys as well. So we're just excited to be able to share our love and our passion for these shows that we love and care for and just love to just chit chat about.
Yes.
So we love you guys. Thank you for tuning in, and remember to leave those comments and let us know what you think. So moving on, let's unpack this Sunrise Bay. So we have a reboot of Sunrise Bay happening. Moira, this was the soap opera drama that she was on years and years ago. And looks like she might be getting a reboot for this. She got a call from, it was Tippy, her executive producer, and they met up at the Sunrise Cafe. What happened, Loren?
Well, yeah, that was interesting. Well, first I got to mention that we don't normally have big caliber guest stars on the show. I can't recall the names of the 2 actors, but they're definitely veterans. But we've got the one that's Tippy Bernstein, the executive producer, and then we have the surprised guest Clifton, her co-star. And so she's like, what do I owe this? And they want to reboot the show, a primetime version of the show, which is like, is this what's going to take Moira out of Schitt's Creek temporarily?
I think it's just such a shock. I mean, the look on her face when she sees Clifton, it's just like seeing a ghost from the past. And she's like, hello. And I think she's thrown off guard, but I think she's excited that it's just this new, after The Crows Have Eyes 3, it's just this new, another amazing project to take a hold of.
Yeah, I think anything that puts Moira on television or anything in front of a
I
screen
know.
is going to make her happy. So, and I mean, and this is, we see this now. There's so many reboots of old shows that have been coming up now. Lizzie McGuire, what are all the other, there's so many reboots going on right now. But it's just it's what's happening right now.
Yes.
So of course they want this reboot of Sunrise Bay, but Alexis is saying, "Hey, hold up a second, because I am now in this forum, this chat group, and from this interview, looks like Clifton was the reason that you got booted off the show last time."
Yes.
So Alexis is doing her duties as her publicist, which it's great, and we saw a beautiful moment with them at the end of this. But we see this happen, and this prompts them. She goes for the meeting at the bar. She's supposed to have the contract signed. Oh my gosh, what the heck? What's happening in this?
Yeah, that was kind of fascinating.
It was so cringy to watch though, because Clifton made that one comment and she was like, well, how would you know about my contract? And then I guess that's kind of like spilling the beans of he had something weird to do with her getting kicked off the show.
Well,
Like,
he had just had a big ego.
Yeah.
He was like, there's only room for one big ego,
Yeah.
one big star in this room.
One
and that's me.
doctor at the
One
hospital,
doctor.
right?
It's such a bummer because I mean, if I were Moira, I would start thinking like, oh my gosh, like what would have happened, if I had stayed? Like my mind would just start running and spiraling. But she handled it like a boss. And she
Slap,
just
slap, slap, slap.
Yeah, that was an amazing moment. I've definitely done that before.
What? You've definitely slapped
slapped
someone at a bar?
slapped someone silly.
Well, it's just,
Okay.
ex-boyfriends. But, I just say I could relate with her in that moment. So anyways, she handled that like a boss, like she
Yes.
should have, and she renegotiated her contract. But they didn't bite on it at the end, as we see. So I guess we're not getting a reboot of Sunrise Bay.
No, but she didn't. But she told Alexis, she said, I just wanted too many crazy things, knowing that they would say no. And I was still trying to get a sense of what she was thinking of, why she didn't want to do the show. What was she not going to gain by being on it? I mean, she already got the slap in. She was going to get things. She was going to have the option to kill off Clifton's character. But why did she decide to end it?
Yeah, I was a little confused by that too. I mean, she seemed to say, I have a little more self-worth than the fact that you know, the fact that you were the reason I lost my job last time, and I refuse to do another production with you, and I'm going to stand my ground. And that's what it seems like she wanted to do. She took that road instead of taking the easier road.
Honestly, good for her, because that's hard in the moment, and I myself have had many experiences where it's just this opportunity. It's so like, you're like, yes, oh my gosh, of course. Or something happens where you know, though, this doesn't feel right, or it's not for my best, highest good, or something from the past where like, you just, your brain is going back and forth and then you just, to take the high road though and just do what you know now in your life, just good for her for sticking up for herself and not giving into this opportunity, because I'm sure those guys were just like sleazy. Like,
yeah, she knew her worth.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's another big change is Moira's not clamoring for whatever she can get.
That's a good.
She's an evolved woman.
Exactly, and as we have continuously seen with all of these characters, they are always evolving and always evolving into better people than what we saw season 1, episode 1. So
So true.
Yeah, so kudos to the writers and kudos to these characters for evolving into amazing people.
I love the Rose family.
Yes, I do too. Well, yeah, that's about it to unpack from the episode. So I want to get straight into our special segment, our senior superlatives with Megan Gallagher.
Okay, y'all. So, senior superlatives. It's so much fun to talk about this because I feel like I remember when I was a high school senior, and I think I was voted most fashionable and like most comical.
I was voted most likely to be the next American Idol.
No way.
But they changed that from most talented to that. So I was technically voted most talented.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah.
What were you voted, Loren?
What were you voted?
Not everybody was voted upon in my high school. That's how big it was. Some people were just... Somebody had to do the voting, okay? The vote counting.
Okay, well, if you had to choose one for yourself, which one would you have wanted?
Oh, if I could have chosen anything, most likely to get the hell out of town?
Gosh, okay, most likely to basically succeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just get out of town.
Just get the hell out of town. All right, well,
Yeah.
we'll get right into our senior superlatives
Amazing.
for this one.
So senior superlatives for Schitt's Creek for this episode specifically. So we're going to play this little game. It's super fun. You all can play at home too. So the first one, most likely, and this is just what's your opinion? Who do you feel would fit this category best? Most likely to run for president of the United States.
And this is just based off of this episode?
Yes.
Oh, crap.
Oh, just this episode. And so you're saying just the characters we saw?
Sorry, the whole season.
Oh,
we don't
okay.
Okay, the whole season.
So any
Okay.
character.
Yeah, any
Okay.
character.
Okay, I chose for running for president, I chose Ray Butani, our old good friend Rizwan, because he has so many different hats already, photographer, real estate agent. So I think that he definitely would want to run for president too, because he's a boss-ass man.
And I totally smiled when you said that, because I was thinking the same thing and wondering, am I weird for thinking that?
No.
But you're right. Such a kind, innocent soul that he would want to... Now, when I think about high school, he would definitely have run for president in high school. Of course, president of the world. We'll just call the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I said Johnny Rose.
That's a good one too.
Good old with Stevie as his vice president.
I love that.
Now, for our Canadian viewers, that would be the prime minister.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
Yes. Okay, second is most likely to start their own business.
I put Johnny because he's already done that and he's doing that now. So
Yes, perfect.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Again, I think he started in high school, was probably on the track team and in photography class, and probably started a side business of doing things.
I love it. I personally said David Rose. I think he gets it from his dad. They're so smart, entrepreneurial, creative, just leaders, trailblazers, and they know what they want in life.
Yeah, basically the Roses, yeah.
Okay, next one is most likely to become a pageant queen.
Okay, I chose Alexis, of course. I mean, that's who Alexis would be my number one pick.
You're talking about like a professional, like after.
Yes, like Miss Universe, Miss America.
You know what?
Miss Schitt's Creek.
Jocelyn.
All right.
Jocelyn.
Ooh, I love her haircut. I said Alexis too. I think she has the whole package.
Yeah.
Okay, so most likely to go to jail.
Well, I said, we had talked about this briefly, but I said Mutt. I'm sorry, Mutt. You went to jail before.
I know it's hard because when you play this game, it's like you know the path that some of these characters have taken. So is it fair in this kind of game to call out something we've already seen them do? So yeah, Mutt.
That's true. I said Roland. I
thought about him too.
He sometimes gives me the heebie-jeebies, and I just get
just BGBs. What do you think he's going in for?
a bad haircut. I mean,
a
like
bad haircut.
a mullet. I don't even know.
Could you imagine if you could get arrested for having a bad haircut? Yeah, it's just your hair's not working for me now. You're gonna have to go to jail, hands behind your back.
That's called the Fashion Police. Remember, there was an actual
that's right.
show
Yes.
about that. Yeah.
There are fashion police.
Okay, so last one. Most likely to become famous.
Come on now. Moira Rose. Come on. She is the most famous of all. So that's who I picked.
Yeah.
If we're talking about Schitt's Creek, then I'm thinking Jocelyn again.
Okay.
I'm still in that mindset of she's got the hair, she's got the clothes, and just in Schitt's Creek, that's what they love.
Amazing. I said Moira too. I think she has it all, and she just dresses like a star. It's like it runs in her
stardom.
exudes. It runs in her blood. She's just all of that.
All that in a bag of chips, Myra.
Yes.
Yes, you are. Well, let's get right into our news and gossip because we have some major tea to drop.
AfterBuzz TV News.
All right, before we get to that, I want to talk about a little bit of other news. Annie Murphy was on a show called Press Play here in LA at KCRW, our public radio station, with Madeline Brannon. She said a couple things that I thought were interesting that I wanted to share with y'all. She said, in preparing for the role of Alexis, the breakdown said blonde, ditzy, socialite character. But what I have not heard is that one detail at the bottom of the breakdown caught her eye. It said like a young Goldie Hawn. And while we know Goldie Hawn being the ditzy blonde back in the late 60s, early 70s, like with Laugh-In, there was also something, a shining light is what Annie Murphy says, and a kind of essence about her. And so I thought that was interesting. Murphy watched a lot of the Kardashians, the Olsens, and Paris Hilton, picked up some mannerisms, the way they speak, even the way they carry their handbags. She kind of watched the way they just kind of flipped up a hand, and it was kind of like a hook.
Yes.
And she says that one night she had an idea, what if there was no handbag? So she decided,
Is that what all this is?
Right.
Oh, smart.
So isn't that amazing to think about when you're acting in a stage play, a production, or a TV show that that you come up with these ideas, you create a character. It's so fascinating to hear how they do those. So if you want to hear this interview, that's on kcrw.com. Check it out. Variety last week. Emily Hampshire, who plays Stevie, is joining a TV series, a Stephen King series called Chapelwaite. It's based on a short Stephen King story. So that's going to come out soon. And then finally, let's announce the big news after we go to a commercial break.
No.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. All right. So next week, we are so excited to have sitting here, drum roll please, Sarah Levy. Twyla is coming in next week on the 17th. We are so excited. Yay!
Yes.
So we're going to have all these questions for her. We're going to definitely have to play senior superlatives. We would like you out there to comment, to contact me on Instagram. I will post some post, but I want you to find out. I want you to let us know some of those senior superlatives you think that she would qualify for. Any questions you might have,
Yes.
also in the comments of our YouTube channel. I'm so excited I can't even talk anymore.
I just can't even wait to meet her. It's just so much fun.
That's exciting.
Yeah. Again, guys, yes, leave your comments below and let us know what you want us to ask Twyla, Sarah Levy, next week. I'm so excited to have her as a guest.
Yes.
Kudos to Loren for setting that up.
Yes.
Yes.
Yay! And that's the news.
And that's the news. Well, I want to get quickly into some predictions for the rest of the season, for the next episode.
Yes.
Let's figure it out. What do you think's going to happen?
Well, this is a whole lot of. I know I said predictions earlier. I don't remember what they were. But you know what? There weren't a lot of high stakes in these last 2 episodes, so it's kind of harder to know where the show's going to go next.
Yeah.
The only thing we really know is that the wedding's going to go on. So we always talk about where we think the wedding might be, what they might be wearing, who might have the last comedic laugh at the end. We kind of talked about Mutt coming back, but that was more just having the entire cast come back. So I think the entire cast will appear in the episode, and it'll be one big.
They'll all be back for the wedding.
Pie fight at the end.
I do feel that Ted or Mutt will come back, one of them. I'm still hoping for Ted. I'm still hoping he comes back around and just makes Alexis happier, because it's so sad to see her so sad. I also feel Moira's just gonna like start her own acting company or something, where she's just gonna be like, you know what, I want control over my career, and I'm sick of, people just like, I want to be my own boss and pave a way for young aspiring actresses, and just being honest, and because you love it, and she's just gonna totally be a boss.
Yeah, I think Moira is going to. I agree with you a little bit. I think Moira might find a new series, not a reboot of Sunrise Bay, but just get cast in a really big series. This is what I keep talking about, where we don't know where this season is going to go, if they're going to stay in Schitt's Creek or if they're going to go off and do bigger stuff. But I think she's going to get a really big series by the end of this. And I also think that this whole motel expanding to 20, 30 locations is going to happen. And I think it's going to be pretty epic, and they're going to live happily ever after, making a ton of money. And then that could lead up to having another season possibly in the future.
So crazy.
Now, do you think a big surprise could be they sign up on a reality show about life in Schitt's Creek at the motel?
Gosh, I have no idea. Maybe. I mean, that's
be meta. That's a show within a show.
That's out there, but that could definitely
Can you imagine a reality show like living in the motel?
Hey, it could happen for sure.
All right.
Well, thank you guys so much for being with us. Loren, let everybody know where they can find you on Instagram.
You can find me on Instagram at Loren Kling, LorenKling.
You can find me on Instagram at Megan, MEGANW, Gallagher, GALLAGHER.
You can find me on Instagram at Rachel Swindler, or on Twitter at Rachie Swin. Until next time, we'll see you later, you little shits.
Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.